YouTube, what's popping YT? It's your boy King to the Sapien, aka Young Sage, aka Sage Zeddy, aka Tata Sage, aka the top tier Sage. And today is a very special day because today we're discussing a special topic. The topic is what boarding school taught me about mob mentality. I'm gonna say that again. What boarding school taught me about mob mentality. Now, the reason why I think this topic is special is because I feel like what I'm about to talk about, you guys have observed it on a small scale or a large scale. But either way, you've noticed it, and maybe you didn't know what to call it, or maybe you did call it something, but you've labeled it incorrectly, at least to me, right? And I'm here to clear it all today, right? So to give a little bit of context, I went to boarding school at during 2017 and 2019. During this time, I was a freshman, right? So at 2017, I was in the 8th grade, and then in 2018, I was in the 9th grade. For those 2 years, I went to boarding school, and the school I went to was Lynn Park High School. It was located in Pietermaritzburg in KZN, right? So it is in the KZN province, and it was a cool school. So being in that environment or being in boarding school, it launched me or introduced me to a weird and yet somewhat educational environment where I learned 3 lessons about the school of life, right? So, getting to the topic at hand, lesson 1 was boarding school is not jail. That's a very common, popular, but unnecessary misconception. Boarding school is not jail. Now, I understand why people think that way is because you're being moved away from your parents to live in a separate household with its own authority that is outside of your parents, with its own rules. So you might think it's jail, but boarding school is not jail. It's actually a cool place. It's a humane place to send your kids there, or if you're planning to go there. Yeah, boarding school is cool. It's not like jail, right? Now comes to lesson 2. Lesson 2 is, although boarding school is not jail, it has one similar thing. Boarding school has one similar thing that is similar to jail, right? And jail and boarding school works in a similar manner with regards to rules. With my understanding of how jail works and my understanding or my experience with boarding school, I understand that whether in jail or boarding school, there are 2 types of rules. There are surface rules, and then there are underground rules. Now, this is a concept that I made up myself. You're not going to search this on Google and find it. I made it up as my own analogy that I felt like will be useful for you guys to understand for this video, right? There are surface rules and then there are underground rules. And surface rules, basically, those are the rules that are agreed upon the teachers, the students, and the parents, right? The teachers made up these rules and they're telling the parents, and then they're also telling the students. They're telling the parents these rules so the parents can understand that this place is authority. Once the parents understand that, they'll be at ease that they're sending the child to a place of discipline and a place of authority. And the reason why the teachers are telling the students these rules because they want the students to follow these rules and agree to them. So I'm going to say it again. Surface rules are made up by the teachers and they explain to the parents so the parents can understand that this place is authority, so the child will be under the control, and then they're told to the students because they want the students to behave themselves. Those are surface rules. And then there are underground rules. Underground rules are rules between the students themselves, the kids that are actually living there. If you're a kid in boarding school or in jail, you need to understand the underground rules of your environment to survive. I'll give you an example. In boarding school, if a kid is bullying you, right, you are encouraged to tell the teachers, and the teachers will do something. You are encouraged to do that. That's the surface rule. But the underground rule is, if you snitch on a teacher, niggas will not fuck with you in boarding school. They will not message you. They will not like you anymore if you snitch. Same thing in jail. In jail, if an inmate is causing you problems, you are encouraged to tell the warden or the prison guard or whoever has authority in jail. However, amongst the cellmates, once you snitch, it's raps for you. It is curtains. So that's what I learned in boarding school. The interesting contrast between underground rules and surface rules. And I think these rules also apply to life in general. How, for example, like in the workplace and stuff like that. That's what I assume, and I understand that assuming is very dangerous, but I'll make mistakes. I'm confident that this works in life too, that there are surface rules and then there are underground rules. And then we go to lesson 3, which is the topic at hand, what boarding school taught me about mob mentality, which is the 3rd lesson, which is the most important lesson, right? So when it comes to mob mentality, what I saw in boarding school is there comes 2 animals. two interesting animals when it comes to mob mentality. There is the wolf and then there is the sheep, right? Now, these two animals, the reason why I chose them for this analogy is because I feel like there are two sides of the same coin, except one side is appealing and the other side is very unappealing. The appealing side is the side of the wolf. Why? In my eyes, if you're a wolf in your environment, it means one, you are one with the crowd. You are well tuned with the crowd, right? That's one. Two, you knew how to stand up for yourself. Three, you knew how to popularize something about yourself. You knew how to be popular in some setting, whether it's with the girls, whether it's sports. You know how to be popular or make something about yourself popular. So you stood up for yourself, right? You are tuned in with the crowd and you know how to make yourself popular. That makes you a wolf in some regards. That makes it easy for people to like you because since you tuned in with the crowd, you're not socially awkward and you like what mostly the crowd likes. That's a wolf. So you're not socially awkward. You're attractive to the opposite sex. If you're a guy, if you're a wolf, you're attractive to the opposite sex because you are popular in some way and not socially awkward. And you know how to stand up for yourself. So you know how to push over. You not being a pushover means you will not be put in the prey section, basically. And that's where the sheep come in. The sheep is a very unappealing side of the coin. Reason being is you're socially awkward. You are not tuned in with the proper crowd that's consistent of wolves. You are tuned in with something outside of that crowd. You are tuned in with the herd of sheep. And so you're not tuned in with the crowd properly. That's one. You couldn't stand up for yourself, which was easy for them to place you in the prey section, just like a sheep. And you're very socially awkward, can't stand up for yourself. And there's nothing about you that's worth being popular. You understand? Yeah, some people might know you and you're not worth being popular, right? And the reason why I know this so much is because I tried being the wolf and I failed horribly. I was the sheep. And the reason why I failed horribly so many attempts because once you have been recognized as the wolf, chances are you're going to stay the wolf for the rest of your high school years or boarding school years. Once you've been recognized as a sheep, you're going to stay like that until for the rest of your boarding school years or high school years, right? I jumped a little bit, but what I'm basically saying is this thing I learned about boarding school, it extends to high school and extends to pretty much parts of life, especially social media. Now, get to the point, right? So basically, the reason why these animals are very interesting because they two sides of the same coin. Right? No matter how cool the wolf is or no matter how lame the sheep is, they still move with the crowd. The sheep is never alone. The sheep is with the herd, right? And the wolf is never alone. The wolf is with the pack. That's why I said it's about mob mentality and these two animals apply. Now, I'm gonna make it simple, right? Being the wolf in high school, I already listed it. Being the wolf in boarding school, I already listed it, right? Now we move on to social media. In social media, the entire rules of the wolf and sheep is different. Like for instance, being the sheep forever doesn't apply on social media. Being the wolf forever doesn't apply on social media. Because the reason being is, the problem with social media is if you're a wolf, you are a wolf because people view you through a certain lens and understand that you have the same views as them. You are in tune with their kind of ground. Or you are in tune with their kind of crowd, making you a wolf in their eyes because you guys have the same or similar opinion about a certain topic, i.e. the feminist, i.e. the red pill community, i.e. the whatever community you find online that hang out with each other. Just know they are wolves in each other's eyes, right? Because they have the same mentality, they like whatever they like, they're able to say whatever they say. You know they have the same mentality, hence they belong into the same pack. Now here's the interesting part, right? If you're a feminist, you have your own wolf pack of other feminists, right? As soon as you see somebody, right, who's not with the idea that you have, to you as a feminist, you recognize that person as sheep. You recognize that person as prey. It's not about who controls you as the sheep. It's not about who controls you as the wolf. It's not about which perspective do you have about the other group and how you guys are going to engage with each other. So if you're a feminist, you and your feminist friends are wolves. But if you encounter a red pill dude, a dude from the red pill community, you view him as prey. You view him as someone to attack. You view him as someone to tear apart. Hence, he's sheep. You view him the same way a wolf would view a sheep. So you attack him and his herd, his other red pill community members, right? Vice versa. If you're a red pill dude and you see a feminist, and you see a feminist, you view her as a sheep because you and your other Red Pill dudes, you guys are a bunch of wolves. You have the same mentality. You agree on everything. Women are ABCD. Women don't deserve ABCD. So if you see a feminist, you see her as a sheep. You see her as somebody to attack. You see her the same way a wolf sees a sheep. See, what's very interesting about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that the whole wolf sheep concepts can flip at the drop of the hat depending on who's looking at who and through what lens am I looking at you through. So if I'm what am I? What other groups are there that exist? If I'm a pro-choice kind of guy, if I say women, it's your choice to, or let's say I'm pro-life. If I'm pro-life and I say, you're supposed to give birth to the baby anyway, and other people agree with me, I view them as my fellow wolves. We have the same ideology, we have the same idea, we have the same goal. Our goal is babies should be alive, right? Cool. And then if I come across someone who's pro-choice, I view him as sheep, or I view her as sheep. I view her as someone to attack and tear apart with my fellow wolves, right? How? Because I'm looking at her through a certain lens and I understand she doesn't agree with my ideology. However, if the roles were reversed, if I was pro-choice, right, and I'm with my pro-choice wolves, and we see someone who's pro-life, we view him through a certain lens that makes him sheep to us. Somebody to tear him apart. Somebody to thingy to rip apart, right? And that's the basic concept of mom mentality. It was like that in boarding school. In boarding school, you have your wolves and you have your sheep. Your sheep were the daily targets. Your sheep were the guys that were torn apart. Your sheep were the losers, the nerds, the geeks, the whatever. I know so much about being a sheep because, nigga, I was a sheep. Not now, because now I'm out of high school, and if you call me a sheep, I'm going to punch you in your face. I'm going to kick your ass. Bop, 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 bop. Kick your ass. However, in high school, I was a sheep. And I tried so hard being the wolf, but nah, it didn't work. I was a sheep. However, on social media, I could be a wolf depending on who's looking at me, through what lens they're looking at me. Or I could be a sheep. It all changes. And the reason why I want to talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about. I feel like you guys know and have noticed what I'm talking about with regards to cancer culture. If people are body positivity, and I say fat women are overrated, right? Sure, people will agree with me. Those are my fellow wolves. But generally, the large population, the woke culture, they'll see me as the sheep and they will tear me apart and ruin my career. It's the same thing. And now here's my question, right? The reason why I brought this up is because here's my question. How's this mob mentality productive to our conversation? That's my point of this video. I just wanted to know, how is this productive to our conversation? Because I don't have all the answers. This channel is here for evolution, for you guys to document my evolution, but also for us to start conversations. I like starting conversations. I like contributing to our conversation. I like just being, being that guy, So I wanted to know, how is this productive to our conversation, to us moving forward? How is us constantly tearing each other apart, us playing the wolf or playing the sheep, or playing the sheep and then playing the wolf again? How is that contributing to a good and healthy conversation that sees us moving forward to the future? Whether it's left or right, whether it's Christian or atheist, whether it's pro-choice or pro-life, whether it's fat shaming versus body positivity, how's us tearing each other apart contribute to a healthy conversation? And the answer is, it's not. It's never going to contribute to a healthy conversation. Us tearing apart. See, English guys, us tearing each other apart is never gonna contribute to a healthy conversation. So I'm here to urge you guys to not fall into the trap of being a wolf. Don't fall into a trap of being a sheep. How you avoid that? Avoid being a wolf by constantly sticking to your echo chambers and ripping other people apart. How do you avoid being a sheep? Whenever you say something, I know it's gonna be very hard, but try say it in a very professional context. Do not say fat women are overrated. I've seen people do that and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You're ruining your career or you're ruining your social media life. Don't say that, bro. Be smarter. And whenever you say something, try and contribute to a good conversation instead of trying to tear the other person apart. Whether it's pro-LGBTQ or whether you're against LGBTQ, whatever it is, let's try and contribute to a healthy conversation instead of turning online platforms into this unhealthy cesspool of toxicity where we tear each other apart and insult each other and thingy. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. All I want to say is, you guys as my viewers, I urge you to not fall in a wolf and sheep mentality. Don't fall in a mob mentality. Just be you, just be an individual, and try your best to say things in a productive and healthy manner. And yeah, if you can't, then don't comment on Twitter at all. Let's just try to contribute to a healthy conversation, because I see the future generation being screwed. You know, if you can't even talk properly without us coming in each other's throat, I see the future generation being screwed. So let's try to contribute to a healthy conversation. Other than that, it's your boy KMT the Sapien. Follow me on Instagram as KMT the Sapien. Follow my other accounts, Martin's Gallery, where I push photography, and Martin's Gallery, and I push my rapping skills on KMT the Sapien on Instagram. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please comment, and please tell me what you guys think about this topic. Am I onto something here? Am I starting a conversation? And yeah, KMT the Sapien out.